Welcome to DK Champ. I want to go over my picks for tonight's slate, 11-20-18, and guys that I'm liking and the contest that I'm liking. So there's a couple of different things here. There's only 4 games, so you got to be creative in how you're going to pick your lineups. I think that there's a lot of value in some of these, and some of these you're going to have to check to see what the developments are with these. But I like this Clippers and Washington game. I think this one's going to be a good one to target. It should be fast paced, should be a good game. I think the Clippers will run a smaller lineup against Washington to try to keep up, and I feel like it's going to limit some of your big forwards and centers from being able to run the floor. So that's going to be an interesting how that game develops. But I do think that they will run a smaller lineup, and I'm going to show you who I like because of that. The Toronto and Orlando game should be a decent little game, but I'm not targeting a ton of guys from this game. The Brooklyn Miami, I am looking at targeting some guys from this one, and typically these games between Brooklyn usually is pretty fast paced, and so is Miami. And you can see there are some injuries here, and I like when injuries happen. Not that they happen, but I like that it's going to give me some value at some lower positions. So, and then we have Portland and New York, and there's some really good plays here. So I'm going to start out with this game here, and a lot of people are going to go to Wall. Well, let's go to all games. A lot of people are going to go to Wall tonight, and while he could potentially get the minutes, he's going to get the minutes, but he could potentially go for 60. I just don't feel like that's going to happen, and I think that you would be taking a risk to put him in, considering his track record here. It scares me a little bit. He doesn't perform well against the Clippers. Historically, I would project him to go 30-35, but I think we can get value other places. Scrolling down the line a little bit, I think in this game, the guys that people are really going to be targeting are going to be Lillard. He'll be highly owned, but he has in a good spot here to really go off. And then we'll go down to shooting guard. Guys that I like here. Kawhi is going to be in a good spot for a good game. And Beal is going to be in a good spot for a good game. And then down the line, you also have people like Lou Williams who could potentially get an extra run tonight. And Magruder, which he's really fitting into the 2 guard and then small forward. But I'm going to go with Beal for the purpose of this. Small forward, the big names are going to be Kawhi and Harris again. And then if you go down to LeVert, you see that he's out. In his place, you will see a couple guys get picked up. And those 2 guys I don't think are listed here. Oh, yep. Carroll and Crabbe. And Crabbe is probably going to be the better of those 2 options. He gets more minutes in this process, so I like playing him here. Going to power forward, I do think that Harrell will get a minutes restriction due to them having to move at a faster pace. We are going to have to check the status here on Gallinari. He could potentially, it says they're going with a smaller lineup here, so that's good news. So if Bradley's going to start there, that means they're going to be trying to run the floor a little bit more. I do not like Bradley just because he doesn't have the threat to be able to score. He's a good player, but I really feel like he struggles to put the ball in the basket. The person that does not, that could be running the floor a little bit better, is going to be Mike Scott, and I think he is a good pick for tonight's game. So those are the 4 guys I have in my top 4. I really like these 4 in the play. And then from here, centers, like I said, I don't really like Montrezl Harrell. There's not many centers that I do like. I've seen a lot of people talking about Whiteside, and with Whiteside's, you just never know what you're going to get night to night. He could foul out in the first quarter, or he could have to sit the whole first half. He's just too unreliable for me for daily fantasy. If you're playing GPPs, he might be worth a shot to throw in a few games, but he scares me a little bit. You have Valencia's, who's at very good value here at 52, and he's probably going to be in around a 30-point game again tonight in fantasy points, so he will be able to reach his value that way. One person that I'm really liking here, and Gatot does not run the floor well, which makes me think he may not be able to get as many points, but he is playing against Washington, which is his old team, and usually these guys perform a little bit better in those situations. And Gertot got 20 minutes the last time, which is one of the few games that he got a ton of minutes, and he was able to get, 4 points, 8 rebounds, assists. He really did help in this game. So I like him as a risky play. I wouldn't play him in every lineup or anything like that, but I would like to see him in a lineup or two, and I like him in that position. So these are the 5 guys that I like. We'll go back through and kind of show you other guys that I'm thinking may have some good upside here. We talked about Kawhi. I like Harris. Hardaway Jr. in this position should be decent. We have Lou Williams should be in a good spot. Now with Dragic being out, there's just not a lot of it scares me in this game because you never know who they're going to play. And when I look at these, I'm going through and trying to figure out who is going to start at the point guard position, and it's tough because at one point they had Richardson starting at point, and that night that he did, he went for like 47. And then we have Whittle, and he has been stepping up big time here. So I like him. But Tyler Johnson, as far as filling in, has been decent here. You can see he's got a lot of upside at 54, but his salary has increased. Magruder, I think, is probably one of the better options to play here because he could definitely run the point in this situation, but just depends on who they put. Winslow, usually when they move people around, Winslow does get a little bit of opportunity, and he's just been all over the place too as far as minutes, so we don't know there. We have Wayne Ellington, who has, he's for 44, he's got a lot of upside here, but we just don't know as far as who they're going to start at the point guard position. So that's something to take a look at as time goes on. Take a look and see who's going to start at the point guard for Miami and take a risk on it and see what happens. You could take a risk here and just kind of see with Wade being out and Dragic being out, the one person they're probably going to turn to is going to be, how much is he? Where is he at in here? He must have went way up in value here. Well, let's go to backups here. Yeah, I'm not really sure what they're going to do. This will be worth taking a look at later on and just kind of seeing when the starting lineups come out about an hour before lock of what they're going to actually do. I could see Ellington getting some minutes. I could see, like I said, they've put Winslow up, throw him in. Jay Rich, I've seen him go in. It's just been crazy this year. But with Wade and Dragic being out, look for some of these guys to really step up and be in a good spot here. So that's my lineup for today, what I'm going to start with anyway. I'm not going to play Gertot in every lineup, so we'll take him out. But these 4 guys I like. And then going down, I've showed you some of the other picks that I like. So hope this helps for tonight, and good luck. Hope you win a lot of money.